melempaskan merpati putih ya. Kita akan siap-siap. Boleh kita hitung ya. 1, 2, 3. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Saya berharap visi yang kita berdua untuk bersemuanya saya berharap untuk membangun awareness akan perbuatan pramuka ini dan saya rasa langsung menjadikan saya dengan yang jawab oke? Mau lainnya silahkan.
Halo Natasha, apa kabar?
Hai.
Senang bisa ketemu lagi. Lama ya, kayaknya sekarang udah besar ya. Hi Miss Cheryl.
Hi there.
Nice to meet you.
The very same back to you.
Thank you for coming in Indonesia.
It's my privilege.
For information, Natasha ini sutradara termuda di Indonesia. Jadi Miss Cheryl founder dari VOP. Nanti kita akan tahu VOP itu apa, kita akan cari tahu nih. Kita akan tanya mereka. Okay, Miss Cheryl, I got a lot of question for you.
All right.
Can you explain what is Vision of Peace initiative and the history about that?
Oh, where do I begin? When I was growing up as a child in my home, my parents taught me a universal value called the Golden Rule, the ethic of reciprocity. Do unto another as you would have done to yourself. Don't do to another what you would not want to have done to yourself. And this universal value, this golden rule, is in every religion, whether we're talking about Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Baha'i, Hinduism, Buddhism, across the board. So this is what I grew up with as a foundation. When I came here to Indonesia, I was embraced by the Damatra family.
Okay.
And because I became part of their family, I'm looking at Natasha's younger brother at the time, AZ, because Misha was not as yet born. And at the same time, I'm learning about radicalism happening here in Indonesia. And I'm hearing about a family taking their children, having the children put on the suicide vests and going into a church and blowing up the church during a service. And then reading about what was happening in a Starbucks in Jakarta. Again, radicalism. And I, quite frankly, became very concerned about my Indonesian family and I'm called Granny Cheryl. So Granny Cheryl became very concerned about grandson AZ. What is happening? How can we change the playing field? What needs to be done? So going back to how I grew up and what my parents taught me, I felt it was important to teach here in Indonesia the Golden Rule, because the young, they are the vanguard for the future. They need to be taught how to respect each other, how to be ambassadors for peace, not just within the broader selection of a country. Start within a family, start within your school. And I approached Prince Damien and Princess Natasha to say, help me, what do you think? How could we go forward? And collectively, we came up with the idea to use art, all the arts, the complete spectrum, and allow the children from ages 5 to 18 to express themselves. What are your fears? What are your concerns? Is it bullying or cyberbullying? Is it harassment or cyber harassment? Words can heal, and words can also be tragic and hurt. And we felt if they could learn that their voices are listened to, their expressions, not just then of the fears, but how do they perceive the future and peace? What will it take? What do they perceive as necessary for respect, for tolerance, for acceptance of one another, regardless of gender, ethnicity, psychological capability, or physical handicaps? And that's what brought the Visions of Peace initiative into existence 5 years ago. It's our 5th anniversary.
Oh, 5th anniversary. Okay. For your information, bahwa Miss Cheryl ini dari Amerika dan dia sudah keliling di 56 kota di Indonesia untuk Vision of Peace dan dibantu sama Natasha. Mungkin boleh nambahin?
Jadi seperti yang tadi dikatakan oleh Princess Cheryl Halpern kan, inti dari pembuatan VOP ini untuk melawan radikalisme ya, dari nggak cuma dari suatu agama tertentu, tapi itu dari berbagai macam agama. Dan poin kami adalah golden rule, yaitu adalah etika timba balik. Lakukan kepada kamu apa yang tidak ingin, apa yang lakukan, jangan lakukan kepada kamu apa yang tidak ingin dilakukan kepada kamu. Do what you want to do, do unto others.
Do unto others what you would want to have done to yourself.
Lakukan kepada orang lain yang kamu ingin lakukan kepada diri kamu sendiri.
Jadi seperti itu ya, upaya apa nih yang dilakukan VOP sekarang sehingga bisa mendapatkan nominasi Nobel Prize?
How is it possible that VOP got Nobel Prize?
Nominated.
Yeah. Oh yeah, amen to get it, Cheryl.
We haven't gotten it yet.
Natasha juga boleh jawab, boleh.
Boleh.
Oh.
Upaya itu ya, upaya dapat Nobel.
Oh iya.
Upayanya adalah karena kita melihat bahwa organisasi ini kan organisasi non-profit tentang perdamaian. Visions of Peace is about peace. Jadi Nobel Peace Prize melihat bahwa ini cocok untuk dijadikan nominasi dan kami masukkan nominasi. Dibantu juga dengan dari Ketua MPR Bambang Susatyo, lalu anggota DPR Muhammad Farhan, lalu Ketua DPD lalu Bapak Alaya Mataliti, Bapak Alaya Mataliti, ketiga wakil Dewan Legislatif Rakyat ini telah memberikan dukungan penuh mereka untuk Visions of Peace untuk dapat masuk nominasi dan mendapatkan Nobel. Selain itu dari Princeton University juga Visions of Peace sudah diberikan dukungan untuk mendapatkan Nobel Peace Prize. Lalu dari Universitas Indonesia yang ada di Indonesia juga, dari Pemohon juga telah memberikan dukungan. Jadi dalam negeri dan luar negeri telah memberikan dukungan penuh untuk mendapatkan Nobel Peace Prize. Kami harap dapat menang ya.
Amin ya. Tapi gini loh, ini kan seru sekali ya. Tadi Miss Cheryl bilang Indonesia seperti family, seperti keluarga. keluarga juga ya kan. Gitu. Are there any plans to implement VOP in another countries?
Actually,
Yes.
I have had discussions in 2 other countries. One is the United Arab Emirates, and the other is within Saudi Arabia. Because the youth are the future, as I said, whether they are going to accept one another. With technology today, there are no longer really borders, because from the United States, my grandchild can be having a Zoom conference with a child in Riyadh, as though there's no separation between them. But for those children to engage with one another, they have to recognize that there is respect. And you can disagree with one another respectfully as well. But you need to first understand that we're all equals. Wherever we live, whether you're a male or a female. And what I applaud Indonesia especially for is your national motto. I couldn't believe that it went back to, if I'm not mistaken, the 13th century, and whether Indonesia was kingdoms or whether or not it was a Dutch colony or today is a republic. That motto never changed, and it's teaching respect for diversity. And if we can achieve that measure of respect, then you can have unity. And that's the challenge that needs to be taught to every child. And the children don't have the ingrained prejudice of their parents or grandparents. So if we're going to stand a chance to lower the level of violence in the world, if we're going to stand a chance to raise the degree of tolerance for one another, we all have to focus on the children.
Natasha, kalau keliling dunia di negara lain ikutan nggak?
She said,
Bagaimana dengan karir sutradara termuda?
she said, well, the VOP,
Saya nanya sama Natasha.
Bentar, ini pertanyaannya lucu soalnya, bentar harus di-share. She said that will the VOP found that the other founder,
Yes.
me and all the kids will go to Riyadh and everything to the VOP there. I said I have to tell you because it's a funny question.
It's not such a funny question.
Just informasi, kalau Natasha ini anaknya dari Dinominasikan Production, Damin Dematra.
Nama produksi.
No.
Lupa.
Prince Damin Dematra. Maksudnya seperti
Iya,
itu.
saya anaknya dan saya juga jadi director di Visions of Peace
Yes,
Initiative.
maksudnya gitu.
Foundernya adalah papa saya sama Michelle House.
Oke, nah kira-kira seperti itu.
Director untuk yang mengelola ininya di dalamnya. Ke production ya, karena emangnya pemproduksi.
Gitu ya. Nanti ada editnya gitu ya. Oke, lanjut. Nih untuk Nana, bagaimana seorang anak muda ikut bergabung di Vision of Peace, terus ikut menjaga konsistensi dari VOP itu sendiri?
Saya di sini kan mewakilkan anak muda ya, karena kan Vision of Peace itu sebenarnya seperti yang tadi dikatakan bahwa Vision of Peace itu inisiatif itu untuk anak muda. Memang dibuat karena anak muda adalah generasi penerus bangsa. Jadi kita harus memfokuskan untuk menginspirasi mereka. Jadi dengan saya ada di sini, saya merasa bahwa bisa memberikan contoh bahwa anak muda juga bisa kok terus mempromosikan perdamaian.
Nih aku penasaran banget sih sebenarnya sama Miss Cheryl ya. Why you choose to focus fokus on the peace gitu.
Oh, oke.
Why choose to focus on peace?
You know, peace is a multifaceted word. You need to have peace between a husband and wife. You need to have peace in a family between parents and children. You need to have peace in a school between teachers and students. You need to have peace on the street, that you don't have, for example, road rage, where somebody simply gets so angry and drives into people walking on a sidewalk. You need to have peace between government officials so that they talk to one another, look at complex issues, and try to come up with an appropriate, multifaceted solution. So peace in and of itself is rooted in civil society on every level.
Udah jelas banget ya. Kalau Nana, apa? Kenapa mau ikut serta dan fokus di perdamaian? Kenapa nggak yang
sih tidak apa?
Kenapa nggak kayak misalnya tentang kebersihan atau misalnya sampah apa?
Lingkungan hidup gitu. Karena seperti yang tadi dikatakan Prince Sheldon kan, kalau tidak ada perdamaian juga dunia ini tidak akan bisa kemana-mana. Kalau saya tidak ada kedamaian di dalam lingkungan saya, membuat lingkungan hidup, misalnya saya membuat tim untuk membersihkan lingkungan hidup, kalau tidak ada perdamaian di situ, ya berantem adanya. Jadi at the end base-nya adalah ya harus bisa.
Intinya damai,
iya,
peace,
damai dengan diri sendiri dulu, baru bisa damai dengan orang lain, baru deh kita bisa melakukan hal lain. Karena kalau nggak ada peace, nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain. Berantem terus.
Good answer. Okay, Miss Cherry. Miss Cherry as founder of POP. Kita tahu ya kalau Nat isu peperangan. Ya. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, she's gonna go with that.
How do you respond to war that occur like Ukraine, Russia, or Palestine, Israel? How about respond? Your response?
You know, back to what I said earlier, children do not have the prejudice and the hatred for one another that the older generations do have. So you're questioning me about, for example, the Palestinian Arabs and the Israeli population, both Muslim, Christian, and Jewish.
Russian.
Well, no, but there are two separate discussions.
That's humanity, right?
But they are different, and yet in many ways the children from the current violence, the war in the Ukraine, are going to be in a similar situation because war creates hatred. There was an organization in the United States that I supported called Seeds of Peace. Seeds of Peace took the Palestinian children and the Israeli children from all of the different religions and brought them to a camp in Otis, Maine. And there were psychologists there at the camp. The children had to live with one another in a bunk. They had to go onto a playing field and play on a team together. Initially, you had tension, you had anger, but over the course of the summer experience at the camp, they learned to listen to each other, learn to hear what the other was saying. And from that, you had bonds of tolerance created. And these children were given their own website, secure, in order to communicate with each other. That's essential because those are going to be the journalists on both sides of an equation when they are adults. And there is no absolute, but you need to learn to listen, empathize, and then you need to compromise. And between the Ukrainian children who are now refugees, who have left everything behind, and the Russian children whose parents, because they were conscripted into the Russian army, have been killed, you have anger on both sides. And these children are going to have to learn to express their pain, which is very real, but they have to be taught how to also express a vision of tolerance and peace. If we don't help them, then we're just going to allow the cycle of anger to continue unabated.
Terharu. I think she's very touched. Okay, one question. What step do you take POP in the future for the world?
What's the next step for Visions of Peace? Future.
You know,
For the future, for the world.
everything that has been accomplished to date in Indonesia really needs to be applauded, and it needs to be shared. The notion that COVID came into being and all of a sudden you didn't have schools, you didn't have the ability to interact, child with child, that the Visions of Peace initiative went digital. It allowed the messaging to be shared on so many digital platforms that we can say today that several 100,000 children have become ambassadors for peace within their homes, within their schools, now that school is back in session, within their communities. And that is so very important. And I really I can't say enough about my partnership with Prince Damien and Princess Natasha, because think about it. These children have live events, or they have a digital event, and they could say, they don't care about us anymore. To create a calendar, big calendar, put it into the classrooms with pictures of the children at different events, and every month to have the golden rule in a different religion there for them to see when they go into their classroom. It's this reinforcement. You matter. We care about you. You are the key to the future. And then to also give them and give their teachers, whether it's a backpack with the logo of the Visions of Peace, or as an older child, you get your t-shirt, and your teachers are going to have the t-shirts. We're sharing this collective commitment to peace.
Sampai gak bernapas aku loh.
I was listening until I'm not breathing
Jika
because it's
perdamaian
very
ini terus
important.
berjalan, terus terjadi, ini dunia ini akan terasa indah. Pernah jawab, pilih salah satu tapi dengan cepat, jangan pakai mikir. Oke, ada 5 ya. Oke, sutradara termuda atau aktivis perdamaian?
Aktivis perdamaian.
Oke, udah nggak mau jadi sutradara.
Enggak, bukan berarti enggak, kan suruh pilih cepat.
Oke. Damin Dematra atau Miss Cheryl? Satu, dua. Come on. Damin Dematra atau Miss Cheryl?
Damin Dematra dong. Kalau tidak ada Damin Dematra, tidak ada Natasha Dematra.
Oke.
Tidak akan bertemu Michelle Halper.
Aktris terkenal atau aktivis tidak terkenal?
Aktris terkenal. Karena kalau jadi aktris terkenal bisa memberikan info tentang aktivisme yang saya ingin tunjukkan.
Oke, baiklah. Ibu rumah tangga atau berkarir?
Berkarir.
Oke.
nggak apa-apa loh bagi yang memilih untuk ibu rumah tangga, tapi kalau saya sih nggak. Nggak menghina atau apa.
Terakhir, perdamaian atau keadilan?
Perdamaian. Oh, wait, perdamaian. Tapi dengan perdamaian bukan berarti nggak bisa adil loh. Kita harus pintar-pintar.
Oke, good question. Dia tidak terjebak di masa asli.
Dia tidak terjebak.
Oke, baik. Aduh, terakhir closing statement. Auto boleh dari Nana dulu atau Miss Chana dulu?
Last words, like
Closing statement.
the to be continued words.
It's been an absolute overwhelming experience to work with everybody here in Indonesia on the Visions of Peace initiative. To be recognized by each House of Parliament and nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, to be recognized by a rector of a university here, and to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, to even be then recognized by a professor at Princeton University who heard about this initiative, and to again be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. This has only given me greater strength, a greater commitment to continue to work with Princess Natasha, to work with Prince Damien, to work with the NU, to work with the Muhammadiyah, to work with all the schools, the orphanages, the members of government together in order to achieve that unity that is intrinsic, it's core to the Indonesian motto, and then to take it on the road and share it around the world. And so my tagline is to be continued.
Akan berlanjut. Oke. Visions of Peace tidak akan berhenti di sini closingnya. Akan terus menjangkau banyak kota-kota lain dan berharap misi perdamaian ini tidak akan berhenti. Kami harapkan ya.
Semoga terus berlanjut. Ada sustainability-nya ya. Oke, Nana.
Ada apa?
Sustainability-nya berkelanjutan.
Iya.
Oke, Nana. Closing statement-nya?
Itu yang tadi barusan. Gimana sih? Ya udah. Jadi saya berharap bahwa Visions of Peace bisa terus menginspirasi anak muda dan orang tuanya juga, jadi nggak cuma anak muda, dan iya bisa terus membuat kehidupan orang lebih baik lah. Jadi berdamai dengan dirimu sendiri baru bisa Anda mencari perdamaian di luar. Itu yang paling penting sih.
And I'm going to give you one other piece that you can edit in maybe.
Oke, apa itu?
Imagine when you receive from the children their comments, and there was a 14-year-old girl who wrote, "Thank you for teaching me how to be at peace with myself. Now I can try to be at peace with others."
Itu yang tadi saya katakan barusan, itu dituliskan langsung oleh salah satu pemenang di Surabaya, mengatakan bahwa itu terima kasih ya Visions of Peace telah memberitahukan saya apa arti perdamaian, di mana dengan saya menemukan perdamaian dalam diri saya bisa menyebarkan itu ke orang lain.
Oke, sukanya ngobrol lama-lama tapi nggak bisa lama ya, karena Anda ditunggu juga. Intinya hiduplah di dunia ini dengan cinta, maka kamu akan memperoleh kedamaian. Thank you Natasha, Miss Cheryl.
Thank you.
Oke, semoga ketemu lagi ya. Oke, thank you. Bye.